How's it going? This is Lansdowne Roar, the voice of the fans. David Dunn here on his own today. No Martin. He will be back next week. And as always, as I said, we are the voice of the fans. If you like what you see, love what you hear, scan that QR code. Head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter. If you want opinion, head over to lansdowneroar.ie. You got plenty of opinion over there. If you're new to Lansdowne Roar, Martin always sort of gives me the elbow in the ribs and says, look, we get a lot of new followers and new subscribers all the time, which we do, new viewers, listeners. Maybe explain just a little bit what we do. So be patient with me if you are a regular viewer and listener. And by the way, thank you for that as well. We are fan-based, we are fan-driven, and we tend to do a lot of live episodes. We haven't done one for a while. We are going to get back to that. We've just had a bit of a restructure, a bit of a reshuffle. We also go to all the games, all the Ireland matches, home and away, and we do live programs there. We do interactive pre-match shows, and we do the aftermath. Whatever the game, whatever the result is, we're live. We let you have your say. And that's what we're about. We're by the fans, for the fans. And we are Irish football's most interactive podcast. And we are going to get back to that because you know what? We've really missed doing the lives, getting out there and talking to our audience, the Roar faithful, if you will. So that's the plugging over with. If you are just a new viewer on the YouTube channel here, if you're watching us, well, why not become a new subscriber? Give us a cheeky little subscribe. And if you love what we're doing here, please tell. It does help. Spread the news. We're trying to do God's work here for Irish football anyway, such as it is. Right. We're going to get on to the subject matter for today. And of course, the main story here has come from former Republic of Ireland player and Millwall player Richie Sadlier, who, of course, you will recognise from the TV screens on RTE. Here he is. Sadlier was asked by Joe.ie in the RT studios who he thought should be Republic of Ireland manager. This is what Richie Sadlier had to say. Here's the full clip in its entirety that Joe.ie put on their socials.
Why the hell are those people still in charge? What are they doing? And when the appointment is made, whose resignation is going to come with it? Because it's not good enough.
Who do you want the next Irish manager to be, and who do you think it will be?
If I told you during the Women's World Cup last summer that what's going to happen next is someone with Eileen Gleeson's CV is going to get the manager's job, you wouldn't have believed me. And if I told you that the role that Eileen had, the head of women's and girls football in this country, would be vacant for as long as it's been, you wouldn't believe me. And then if I told you that men's senior job would be vacant for as long as it has been, 2 international windows would come and go without the appointment being made, 4 friendlies, the only 4 friendlies that the new manager has to prepare for the Nations League, they'll come and go without the manager being in charge, you wouldn't believe me. But there are people in charge in the FAI who are overseeing those decisions. I understand your question, who should the manager be? But it's the wrong question. The question is, why the hell are those people still in charge? What are they doing? And when the appointment is made, whose resignation is going to come with it? Because it's not good enough.
It's not good enough, says Richie Sadlier. Now, that search has gone for a new manager, has gone 226 days as of recording for Stephen Kenny's permanent successor. Look, I mean, yet again, for those new listeners and viewers here on the podcast, we pull no punches. He is right. He's right in what he's saying in pretty much all of that. Obviously, I think when we put it on Lansdowne Road on the Facebook page, people were like, well, duh. that was pretty much the reaction from a lot of people. Yeah, look, Richie's spot on there. The only thing I'd be curious about is where that's come from, that comment, because, there's been no news of a new manager. There's been no news of a change at the top. And there's been no news of a new CEO coming in, because we have an interim CEO, an interim marketing manager, I believe, and there's loads of positions that haven't been filled yet. Some which he touched on there. So this has kind of come out of the blue a little bit, an almost innocent question. Who would you like to be the next Ireland manager? Kind of very sort of what's your favorite cereal type question. I don't really like, but his answer was anything but routine. He really went to town on that. Now, my guess would be that that was, you can see in the video there, if you're watching us on YouTube, that he was at the RT studio. So you imagine that conversation's coming around a little bit where, they're probably sitting around watching some of the teams like, oh, geez, Albania and Georgia, what kind of players Ireland have? And, we could do something there. Like, some of the bigger teams haven't really performed. Look at England, for example. You can listen back through the archives, Dunphy hammering them, Keane hammering them, we're hammering them, their own fans are hammering them. And not really too many teams have sort of roared to life. And you kind of think, well, maybe Ireland could do something if they had a plan, a manager, which we don't. And that's what I imagine that's where that's come from. And look, he is correct. Irish football is in an absolute state at the moment. Let's not pull any punches on that. For the new listeners here, we were promised by February. Well, it wasn't a promise. It was more like a hope. We hope to have a new manager in place for the Nations League draw. I think it was like the 7th or 8th of February, around that time, just off the top of my head. We didn't have one. Then it was, well, we're not going to have one for the friendlies in March. But, we're very close. We're really close. We know who we want. We thought, okay, we'll give you, it's not the end of the world. Not ideal, because, at that point we had drawn England. That's our next competitive match on the 7th of September in Dublin, who we thought at the time could be potential European champions. That's probably not going to be the case now, although you don't know. And we thought, okay, not ideal, but if we have to go with an interim manager in March, right, but, we'll allow it, kind of thing, as long as you provide. And I always sort of had that caveat, I think is the word I'm looking for. It has to be a good appointment, like a Lee Carsley type deal. Oh God, I feel silly saying it now. And I'm sure I'm going to get abuse for this tomorrow in my WhatsApp group. Yes, I'm calling you out again. But we thought, okay, March, we'll allow it. And then we were promised early April. Guys, we have it. Early April. Telling you now. Mark my words. Early April. And the board came out, and Paul Cook came and said, yeah, we're satisfied. We're pretty sure Jonathan Hill, Packy Bonner, and Mark Canham, the director of football for the FAI, just contractual issues. That's why we can't announce it, but early April, telling you now, brilliant. And we were on here and we were saying, fantastic. What a diligent process. There's been no leaks. They've kind of left the media guessing. Canham looks, he has the air of calmness. Look at him, he's a personification of a man that knows exactly what he's doing. Look at those glasses. Brilliant. Fantastic. And then early April comes and goes, and you think, don't really see what's going on. And then you hear the reports start to come about. Well, actually, they don't have anybody. And then late April, Mark Canham comes on FAI TV, is interviewed by Cathal Durbin, and basically comes out and says, process not complete. Basically, we have nobody. And then Martin and I remember the episode well. We said, okay. we normally have a little chat beforehand. We had a little word, and I just said, right, we're not going to talk about it. We're just gonna record and see what happens. And we just let rip. And we were fuming. You were fuming. Look, I'm a football fan. I'm an Ireland fan. If I didn't have media passes doing and I love doing the podcast, I'd still be going to all the matches. I have a season ticket. I'd still be going. I'm a fan. You guys are fans. That's where you watch and you listen. We're fuming. Absolutely fuming. You had the CEO, Jonathan Hill, goes to the Public Accounts Committee in February. He's asked about, well, why were you paid holidays when you're not supposed to be paid holidays? I think, yet again, off the top of my head, how did you not notice the 12 grand in your account? That only when we had an audit from Sports Ireland, we went, what's that doing? Oh, I didn't see that. And then he went to the Public Accounts Committee with this email as evidence. If you're listening, it's the fully redacted email. Literally, that was it. And you can even, it's not even a proper, that was, I'm not sure when that was, but yes, you can even see it's the whole FBI crest and down the bottom. And then you have this email here as well, which was his response to annual leave days, joking, if you will, about, getting, being paid for his holidays, which was a joke. And then he got paid, and then he didn't notice it. And then, that was the same meeting that February. We were supposed to go to the government and say, by the way, could we have £500 million towards the 800 million that we need to get football up to scratch in the Republic of Ireland? And of course, Jonathan Hill is no longer with the FAI. He was toast. Probably done before that, but yeah, he was laid to rest, metaphorically speaking, from a career point of view, shall we say, at that particular point. And yet here we are, several months later. That was February. We're now into July. 5 months later, we still don't have a full-time CEO. We still don't have a full-time manager. There's several other positions in the FAI that still haven't been filled. It's an absolute shambles. And it's gone very quiet. Now apparently it's the director of football, Mark Hannam, who, well, I don't even know if he's the one that's going to make all the decisions. Who makes the definitive decision? Is it David Carell, who's now the interim CEO? John O'Shea, even just to go back in late April when Mark Hannam spoke to Carl Dervin, it was a closed fan channel. There was no, that should have been in front of a press conference, and basically he should have faced the music. He should have taken it on the chin and have the reporters in Ireland, which I think are very good. The likes of Dan McDonnell and Philip Quinn, and ask the difficult questions, because we deserve that as fans, as football people in Ireland. We deserve that. He deserved to be grilled, but it didn't happen. So there's anger there, and it's justifiable anger, because with football in this country, you look at the teams that have incredibly low ebb, and Richie Sadlier said there that you had 4 friendlies. That was your only time. That was your only time to get ready for England in September. Now England might be in a bit of a mess. They might have a different manager in place. That's probably the way it's looking. It's probably a great time to play England in September if you have a plan. We have no plan. There was supposed to be Willie Sagnol coming in, the Georgia manager. There's no news on that. There's no movement. There's no, with the press, there's no smoke without fire. There's nothing. And there probably won't be anything. You might still end up with an interim manager. It might still be John O'Shea. And people are just very angry about it. And Richie Sadlier, you could tell, if you go back to that clip, you can see how angry he is about it. And he, he's a football fan too. He's an analyst. He's a psychologist as well, as I believe. And he's annoyed by it. And he's every right to be. Look at the League of Ireland. The League of Ireland is cooking, as I've said. It's cooking. There's no money. There's no money in the country. There's no belief in the FAI from a governmental position or a fan position. The FAI have had the worst. Look, I'm not talking about the coaches, and I'm not talking about social media guys. They do a fantastic job under some very difficult circumstances. Not even the players, or John O'Shea, the managers, the guys that come in. They've been given a bit of a raw deal, messed around a little bit, if you will, by the FAI, by Mark Hannam. Excuse me. And they're doing a fantastic job. They're doing their best. They mean well. I'm talking about the top level here. And that's what Richie Sadlier is talking about here. And they have to look at themselves. This has not been good enough. And it isn't good enough. And some serious questions have to be asked. I'm not talking, maybe not so much board level, but, the CEO went, Jonathan Hill, not too long after the debacle of the Public Accounts Committee. So maybe more heads have to roll. I don't know. I mean, Mark Hannam was just put in the football pathway plan a couple of months ago. We'll see how that goes. But football is at the lowest ebb. The last 2 games have gone over, or the last 2 times I've gone over to Ireland. You would not even know there was a match on. Football's been run into the ground in Ireland. It has. It was the number one game. I can remember, I'm sure you guys watching this can remember, the days when it was an Ireland game. It was an event. Even if friendly, it was an event. You had to watch it. I'd be nervous watching it on RT. I'd be an absolute nervous wreck watching it. You go over there now, no one cares. Oh, there's a match on it. I didn't even know they were playing. That's what you hear. And it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's the Republic of Ireland football team. It's the most popular sport in the country. It's the most popular sport in the world. And their players, they're not that bad. And the women are in action. Of course, they have the double header, the Euro qualifier, Euro 2025 qualifier double header. They've got England. It's on the Friday, the 12th of July. That's Carrow Road in Norwich, and that is an 8 o'clock kickoff. That is live in RT2, by the way. And then after that is Ireland against France. That's 4 days later, 16th of June. That's a Tuesday. It's in Park Aqueve in Cork. It's a 6 o'clock kickoff, and it's also on RTE2 as well. And tickets still available, actually. Adult tickets from €25, junior 10, family 60. They're on sale now. We're going to do our bit. We're going to put the link in the description below on the YouTube channel for the Ticketmaster website. And of course, all the best luck to the girls in green. I think Martin's going to one of those games. I think he's going to the game in Carrow Road. Stupid bloody place to put it in Norwich. Put in London. You'd sell it out. I mean, I think we sold out the home side of it anyway. But you'd sell out the away side of it too. But there you go, the 12th and 16th of July, and of course, the very best of luck to the girls in green. Now on to a truly dreadful story, not just for Irish football. This is much more important that for Irish football players, for female football players. And it's a story that is literally just risen to the surface. And I think a story that is now, we're just literally at the start of this. This is going to unravel. And I think this could lead to a seismic change, and as it should, within Irish football. And you can see on the screen there, the headline is the Gardaí probe allegations by female players about former senior soccer coach. It's going to read a bit here from the Irish Independent, where obviously I got that headline from. Garda Síochána has opened an investigation into a former senior football coach following allegations from female footballers that he made unwanted sexual advances on players in the 90s. This is from Mark Tighe and Marie Crowe from the Irish Independent. Thursday about 3:25 it broke. A separate complaint has also been made about a second senior coach as well. The women's allegations came to light during an investigation conducted jointly by the Sunday Independent and RTE investigates over 2.5 year period. It's interviewed dozens of players, the investigation. Several have spoken on camera about their experiences of alleged inappropriate sexual advances made by male coaches. Details of their experiences are to be published in a special report in the Sunday Independent and on the Irish Independent website this weekend, and broadcast in a major documentary in RT1 television on Sunday night. Thursday afternoon, the FAI President Paul Cook emailed members of the association's General Assembly to alert them to the upcoming media reporting. This is what he had to say, apparently. Of course, what I'm reading here is from the Irish Independent. I wanted to make you aware of an upcoming media story relating to a series of allegations of historical abuse of women involved in football in the 1990s. You may see the story promoted over the coming days, and I wanted to give you the reassurance that the association is treating this matter with the utmost importance and is engaging with both with women involved and the relevant authorities. He continued, all safeguarding concerns that are brought to the attention of the association are dealt with a matter of priority. Some of those who allegedly experienced unwanted sexual advances. This is the story. This is not Paul Cook saying this. From coaches were shocked to discover during the joint investigation that former teammates claimed to have suffered similar experiences. One of the comments here, it's absolutely dreadful when you hear anything to do with any form of abuse. And unfortunately, it seems to be all too common across all aspects of sport and just life in general, really. and those from a position of responsibility and repute, just taking advantage of that, and it's absolutely disgusting. One of the comments here, and this is from the Independent as well. I feel sad, first of all, that I'm not the only one. It's terrible. I hope to God this never ever happens to any other girl out there ever again. Now, the former coaches have denied any wrongdoing. We don't know who they are. We're not going to feed into anything like that. Any rumors? I've heard nothing. We want to treat this as sensitively as possible. The Garda have come out and spoken about it as well. The Garda Síochána respects the confidentiality of engagements with private citizens, including correspondence on complaints which may or may not have been received from third parties, the spokesman said. Also, through the Garda National Protective Services Bureau, they're in contact with and continue to engage with a number of potential complainants. As with any engagements with potential victims of crime, and Garda Síochána continues to support these complainants in a manner and time frame with which they are comfortable to engage with the criminal justice process. Of course, this comes after the FAI have announced their own safeguarding mechanism and an anonymous reporting mechanism, the Play It Right campaign, which was rolled out to clubs across the country, will promote good behaviour and promote a confidential independent helpline, a website for anyone who wants to report a serious concern. If you wish to get in contact with the FAI with their anonymous numbers, there's a landline and a mobile. The landline is a Dublin number. It's 01610 7929. The mobile number is 086 029 9929. Also, there's an email address that's football@raceconcern.com. Football@raceconcern.com. We will also put those details into the description of this video and also onto the podcast description as well. Well, that's all we have time for. Thank you very much for watching. Just a short one today. We hope to have Martin back next week. We tried to do 3 a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, there or thereabouts. And we are going to get back on the lives. We do love doing the live episodes. We just had a bit of a restructuring, but we're going to get back in the lives. We'd love to hear from the Roar faithful. And speaking of love, if you love what you see, you love what you hear, scan that QR code. Head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. And also the website is lansdowneroar.ie. That is lansdowneroar.ie. And if you're a first-time viewer, hit that subscribe button. It really does help. And please, please, if you could spread the word, we are trying to do God's work over here on Lansdowne Roar. I'm David Dunn, and we'll catch you next week. Have a fantastic weekend. And yeah, hopefully see you Monday.